The question is put in that report, is this a game changer for Egypt, this find?
It could well be. Egypt over the last few years has been going through not only political chaos, but economic chaos as well. And the result is that its natural gas exports have dwindled. This meant it hasn't been earning enough foreign exchange to pay what it's owing to energy companies, so they don't want to come and look, or they're at least thinking twice before they're coming to look. But now with this new discovery, this downward spiral could be reversed. There could be optimism for Egypt's natural gas sector, and its will, in the political circumstances, also be a stabilizing factor.
As you say, the challenges are huge for this nation of 90 million people. But if they need those foreign exchanges, do you think they'll stick to their promise to use the natural gas solely for domestic consumption?
Well, the important thing is that some of this natural gas has to be used for export. Egypt has two very expensive liquefied natural gas plants on the Nile Delta coast, which have been built at huge cost, but have been hardly used in the last year or so because there isn't enough gas to put in them. It seems that the amount of gas that they're already producing, boosted by the gas in this new field, could mean that there's not only enough gas for domestic use, but also very much a surplus for export.
And will it change the lives of ordinary Egyptians?
That's a tough question. Ordinary Egyptians often have a very difficult life. Part of the way that Egypt looks after ordinary Egyptians is by having tremendous subsidies on energy supplies within the country. But these are distortions on the economy, and indeed not only the poor but also the rich benefit from the subsidies. So one of the transformations which they've started to work on, but they must work on more, is to revise this subsidy system, much reducing it so that the government has more to spend on other things, but at the same time not reducing it so much that the life of ordinary Egyptians, who tend to be poor Egyptians, does not get any worse.
Simon Henderson, we've seen in recent days a lot of criticism of U.S. policy, saying giving too much of a free pass when it comes to human rights abuses to Egypt. Is this going to be a further encouragement, the discovery of this natural gas, that to give a free rein to President Sisi?
Yes, well, this is the policy dilemma for not only the United States but other countries. That Egypt is a very important country, huge population, tremendous influence on the Middle East, but it's far from being a democratic country. And it's, whatever it is, it's very difficult to rule. And Sisi is a dictator. He might be a benevolent dictator, but that's not a description which would be agreeable to many people who are suffering under him, because he imprisons anyone who looks as though they may even be a slight political adversary. And so it's a balance to persuade President Sisi to take advantage of such gas discoveries at this, while at the same time making sure its proceeds go to the people and also not used to perpetuate his draconian rule.
The issue of how do you make foreign policy when it comes to the energy policy and the energy equation of the region seems to just get more and more complicated, Simon. What you've got Iranian production about to go online, The King of Saudi Arabia expected in Washington at the end of the week. Can you talk about an energy balance when it comes to the region?
You can. Saudi Arabia is by far the most important energy country in the Middle East, partly because of its huge oil reserves and huge oil exports. But Iran is a big player as well, and its oil exports are expected to increase now that there is a deal on the nuclear question. Iran as well has huge amounts of natural gas, much more than Egypt has, even with this new discovery. So in those terms, Egypt is not a big player. It's the behavior of Iran and Saudi Arabia in the Middle East in energy terms, which are the influential countries.
Simon Henderson of the Washington Institute, many thanks for joining us today on France 24.